Hi folks, and welcome to Attiga Armory. Now some of you guys might already know that our citrus-powered synthetic CLP works great on firearms, but what you might not know is that it's also right at home, here in the garage, and around the house. So today we're going to be doing a little video in the garage. Now, let's get to it. Today we're going to be showing you how to fix a pretty common problem on kids' motorcycles, and that is a bent shift shaft. Now you can see here that this shifter has taken some pretty stout abuse from being laid down numerous times. I actually had to pull this whole thing off while we were on the track because it was so badly bent that it was actually locked up in here up against the side of the engine, and that's basically, we couldn't shift it. So I got it home, found that the actual shift shaft was bent going in, and the little oil seal down here was starting to leak oil. I tried to salvage that shift shaft by doing a quick fix and trying to get that thing bent straight and then replacing that little oil seal, and we're going to throw a new shifter on there as well. Here we go, folks. Alright, so let's get our shifter off there. I'm just using a 10mm socket. Look at that thing. I mean, it's just completely twisted upward toast. And this is where it came up and just gouged right into the side of the engine. Made in China. Come on, Yamaha, you can do better than that. So I'm going to wrap up the that shift shaft with a little bit of electrical tape, and I actually got this idea from a channel called Mom Mechanic, and it's this very nice lady who actually did this fix before and made a video on it with her kid, and kind of gave me the idea to sort of do the same thing and show you guys how it works. Just want to protect these little splines because I'm going to be kind of wrenching on this thing, and I don't want to damage those. And I'm kind of going up over the top edge, making a nice thick pad for when I try to straighten that shaft back out. I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see this. Hopefully you can see that this is kind of angled off to the right from being jarred from the front. It's basically bent that way, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a socket, a deep neck socket, and a breaker bar, and I'm going to kind of wrench on it from this side and down and see if I can just easy bend it back into position. And I'm going to do that before I remove the old seal to avoid damaging the new seal. Here's my rig. I've got a breaker bar that's hooked up to, this is a 1/2 inch to 3/8 reducer, and then I've got it hooked up to an actual a spark plug deep neck socket here because I want to get it down about as far as I can right there. That's our setup right now. And I'm just going to be going slow, taking it easy, putting a little pressure down here. If cranking on it with the breaker bar is not working, you can use something like this 18-inch gooseneck crowbar, still using the spark plug socket. You can kind of crank up against this, the mount for the foot pegs, and you can get some pretty good leverage on it from there. Just kind of going slow. I don't want to put too much torque on it where it ends up bent. the other way. Really almost straight again. We are very close. I'm going to give it a little bit more. It's really pretty good. I mean, might not be 100%, but it is awfully close. All right.
Looks like a naked bike.
Looks like a naked bike. Yeah, this is pretty much a naked bike, huh? All right, so once we've got our shaft mostly straightened out, I'm just gonna work on prying this little guy out of here. Yeah, that seal is toast, folks, toast. I'll leave you guys a link to where I bought this part and the part number for the Yamaha TT-R50E. Again, if you know, this is only applicable to the Yamaha TT-R50E. Other bikes pretty much have this, but you know, this part is going to be specific to this bike. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of grease on this guy, and then I'm going to get it packed in there. I'm going to be very careful not to puncture the seal for obvious reasons. Just using my little crescent wrench here to kind of pack that in. You can even give it a little tap. Just gonna wipe away some of this excess grease in here. I'm gonna replace this thing with one of these Tusk machined aluminum versions of the shifter, and this thing's a lot lighter. It also has a retractable kind of spring-loaded shifter end here. So my hope is that if he does end up going down on this thing, one, this will kind of absorb some of that impact without directing it straight into the shift shaft, and two, being that this is a much lighter material, my hope is that if he hits really hard, this thing will bend or break before it transfers all that energy into the shift shaft. Okay, let's put this thing on here. So here is our finished product on the 2014 Yamaha TT-R50, and you can see that I actually just drove this thing around and I topped off the oil, and we are not getting any oil leakage under there. It's actually looking quite good. This Tusk shifter is quite a bit longer. I do have more leverage with this thing, makes it easier to shift. This is not an easy bike to shift. My son is not able to shift this thing. It's just too hard for him, so he usually just rides this thing in second gear the whole time right now. So as he gets bigger, he'll be able to start shifting with this, but it is definitely longer, gives you more leverage, but then, you know, then again, you need a bigger foot to be able to do it. Either way though, I like the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Definitely saved me the trouble of having to tear this engine apart and replace that shift shaft. It seems to be holding well right now. With that, please remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you again next time at Attica Armory.